Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're taking a closer look at Halloween
Yep, we're gonna go beyond the costumes and the candy.
and really try to uncover some of the hidden truths about this holiday.
Because, believe it or not, Halloween is a $10 billion industry.
10 billion. Whoa, that's a lot of money. But where does it all go?
Well, that's a good question. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of transparency about where those profits end up.
I see. And you know what else I've always kind of wondered about?
What's that?
It's trick-or-treating. I mean, I love it, but have you ever considered the ethics of all that chocolate we consume?
Oh yeah, that's a big one. A lot of the world's cocoa actually comes from West Africa, and unfortunately, child labor is a serious issue there.
Oh, wow. So some of the big candy companies we all know and love, like Nestle and Hershey's, they're connected to these practices.
Yes, sadly, they have been linked to these practices. It's really important to be aware of where your chocolate is coming from.
I agree. So maybe look for those fair trade certifications.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's talk about costumes now.
Okay, yeah.
Halloween's all about dressing up, but sometimes it feels like we see costumes that are just not culturally sensitive, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's so easy to cross that line from appreciation to appropriation.
Like when you see costumes that are just reducing an entire culture to one very specific stereotype.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, I don't know, like Native American headdresses.
Yeah.
Or geishas.
Or you see those stereotypical Mexican ponchos.
Right, things like that.
It's not okay.
No, it's definitely not. And you know, speaking of things that aren't okay, we have to talk about the environmental impact of Halloween.
Yeah, all that waste, all that plastic.
It's kind of terrifying how much ends up in landfills.
It really is. Millions of plastic costumes end up in landfills every year.
It makes you wonder, like, how long will it take for those plastic skeletons to decompose?
Probably longer than we'll be around. I mean, hundreds of years.
Wow. And what about the fake blood? I bet there are all kinds of nasty chemicals in that stuff.
Oh, for sure. And think about the plastic decorations, too.
Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize just how much of an impact this holiday has on the planet.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the fun and forget about the bigger picture.
Right. But let's not dwell on that. Let's talk about how adult Halloween culture has kind of evolved.
Okay, yeah.
It seems like it's become so commercialized and competitive these days. Like everyone's trying to have the most elaborate costume.
It's a far cry from the holiday's origins as a pagan tradition to, honor the dead.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how we got from honoring the dead to like sexy whatever costume.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting to see how the focus has shifted.
Okay, so some people might say, come on, it's just for fun.
Right.
But I think we've shown there's a lot more to it than that. There are ethical implications to our choices, environmental concerns, and cultural appropriation is a real problem.
Yeah, for sure.
We really need to think critically about how we're celebrating.
Welcome back.
So in the last part, we talked about like the ethical and environmental stuff. And, we touched on cultural issues too. But now I'm curious, like, what is it about Halloween that's so captivating?
Well, I think humans have always been drawn to, like, the mysterious, the unknown.
Yeah.
And Halloween taps into all that with its roots in ancient traditions and folklore.
Yeah. It's like for one night, we get to like face our fears and explore the darker side of things.
It's a form of escapism. Like, you get to shed your everyday identity and step into a different persona, even if it's just for one night,
Yeah. And there's a big community aspect to it too.
Oh, absolutely. It brings people together.
Kids trick-or-treating.
Families carving pumpkins.
Adult costume parties.
It's a shared experience, across, like, ages and backgrounds.
Right. So we've got this holiday that's like really deep in our psyche, bringing us together, letting us explore like the darker parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
But we've also, learned about some not so great stuff.
Yeah. The impact.
The impact
it has.
How do we reconcile those two sides?
That is the question, isn't it? I don't think it's about getting rid of the holiday. I think it's more about having a deeper conversation.
Yeah. Like, you can enjoy a scary movie.
Right.
Even though it's not real.
You still get that thrill.
We can appreciate the fun of Halloween while also being mindful.
Exactly. Be critical consumers.
Yeah.
Make ethical choices. And challenge the things that are problematic.
Without losing the fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, instead of like buying a cheap plastic costume that just ends up in the trash,
Right.
maybe try making your own.
Or thrifting,
I love that.
Yeah.
And when you're buying candy, maybe look for fair trade.
Yeah. Sustainable options.
Or like explore different ways to celebrate.
Right. Go to a harvest festival
Ooh.
or visit a pumpkin patch.
Okay, so it's all about finding that balance between tradition and, making conscious choices.
Exactly. Using our knowledge to shape the holiday.
Like a Halloween evolution.
I like that. Yeah. Halloween has always been about transformation,
Yeah.
blurring the lines. Maybe this is a chance to transform the holiday itself.
So we don't ditch the spooky fun,
No.
but we do ditch the ignorance.
Yeah. Awareness is key. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. The more we know about Halloween,
The better decisions we can make.
it's about like peeling back the layers,
Right.
looking beyond the surface,
Looking beyond the costumes and candy.
understanding like the deeper meaning.
The impact of our choices.
And maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
we can make Halloween both enjoyable and responsible.
I like that.
Speaking of enjoyable, we haven't even talked about bobbing for apples.
Oh, bobbing for apples.
Where did that come from?
Well, that tradition has a long history.
Wow, we really went through a lot, huh?
We did. From the history to the ethics, the psychology, everything.
I mean, I always knew Halloween was more than just candy and costumes, but
Right.
it's really a reflection of us.
It is. It shows our culture, our values, even our deepest fears.
It's like we went trick-or-treating through a haunted house.
Yeah. With all the surprises and chills.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up, what's like the one big thing you hope people remember?
Well, I'd say it's this. Every choice we make matters. Even the small ones.
Like with costumes.
Yeah.
Candy.
The decorations. They all add up.
It's like being the change you want to see.
Right. By being mindful, challenging stereotypes, choosing eco-friendly options, we can create a Halloween that's, both fun and responsible.
So we don't have to ditch the fun stuff, but we should definitely ditch the ignorance.
For sure.
It's about enjoying Halloween with more intention.
Exactly. Still have all the thrills and treats.
But be aware of the impact.
The impact we're making.
Yeah, I think that's a really good message to end on. It's not about ruining anyone's fun. It's about empowering people to make better choices.
You got it. Halloween's always been about transformation. So maybe this year we can transform the holiday into something even better.
That's a great way to put it. All right, well, that's it for our Halloween deep dive. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. And remember, think about what you're celebrating.